Hey, how's it going? All right. It's good to see you all here. I hope you're doing well. Oh, I'm sorry you're feeling burned out. That's rough. Burnout's a hard place to recover from. Yeah, it really is. I feel like there's a decent number of reasons people get burned out. And a lot of the fixes aren't easy. Yeah. Takes a lot of dedication. I think that people I'm not going to say this is true for everyone. I think that a lot of people suffer from burnout when they don't feel like their work is highly valued and that they're not doing something meaningful. And or they're not making progress on something because they don't feel like they're empowered to. Those are like the biggest main reasons. I know I just gave like 3 reasons when I said the biggest reason. Those are like the 3 biggest reasons, and a lot of times they come in tandem. Like why it feels like one is like you'll be working really hard to do something, but you're not making progress because of other teams or other things inside the company. And so none of those things are simple or easy to fix, really. They're complicated, they're hard, they involve other people. The meaningful work part is also difficult, especially at a company. Like they have the work that they have, and that's what needs done. So like all of these things are just really difficult to solve, and they take time, which when you're feeling burnout is not something that you have a lot of because you're obviously struggling. So Nighthound X, it's good to see you. Or yeah, I can see you. It's good to see you. You guys didn't realize streaming was 2-way when you joined chat. I'm joking, by the way. By the way, thought I was being for real. I wasn't. All right, we let's give it just like one more second, and then we'll start. We don't have a ton of news to cover. We don't have a ton of news as usual. I've been super busy. It seems like my life has been one thing or another. So last weekend it flooded. I have 1 culvert that's out, 1 that's on life support. These are the things that are keeping my driveway from not completely washing away. So I've been busy. There's been things that are going on in my life. But we're all good. So I have to see the silver lining there. Everybody's healthy. So let's move on to the news. Actually, one second. Before we do that, I just wanted to make sure. I just want to make sure I have my groups organized properly. Dev, so I've been on Saturdays. I've been pretty standard on Saturdays. I I've been trying to stream on Wednesdays and Friday mornings. I've been pretty consistent with Friday mornings at this point. Wednesday mornings are more hit or miss. But I have been doing more on those mornings. I haven't been streaming in the evenings. And I know that there was people that watched me in the evenings, and I just don't have the time right now. Maybe in the future I will. I don't right now. So if you were like during the week in the evenings, I have streamed a few times, but that's been like really, really random, and I can't even tell you when those would happen. If I have something to record. So there's actually one thing that I wasn't ready to do today that I am going to record a video for, and that will be either tonight or tomorrow night or Monday night. It will be one of those nights, and I'll stream it because why not? I love to have people that can join on, but it's a news piece that I want to talk about. We're going to talk about it in the news, but like there's a bigger section on that I want to talk about that I think I've actually talked about before, but I haven't like recorded a video on it, like a live video. It's not going to be anything like main channel video, but like we need to talk about it. It's something that is affecting us, and we need to talk about it. All right, here we go. Here we go. Thank you, Russell. If you come to my house, I would appreciate it. I'll put you to work. So yeah, just DM me. I'll get you, I'll get you what you need. Come on out, work. It's gonna be a lot of work, so. Once you get into Canada. Exactly. The maple farm on the left. So, as we do out here, when you're getting out and you take a left on I-95, you're gonna go about a quarter of an hour, and then when you see the old golf cart on the left, you're gonna want to take a right on the next road. There's no markers for it, just the right on the next road after the golf cart, and then when you're approaching the big oak tree on the right, we're the first drive on the left. There you go. There's my best Deep South impersonation. I know that I have lived here, and I know that I'm terrible at impersonations. It's not only did I not get the accent correct, I didn't even get the vernacular correct. So what was I doing? Making a fool of myself, mostly. It's Saturday morning. What is the better time to make a fool of yourself than Saturday morning? Most people think that a 100x coder like me lives in Silicon Valley. It is rare to find us outside of Silicon Valley, our native grounds. Very rare, but it does happen. The last 3 words of his address is in the woods. Okay. Let's jump into the news. So we're going to do a little bit of news. We have some stuff to talk about. I have some shotgun stuff that I'm just going to, like, there's not a whole lot to talk about it. Like I don't have access to try it yet or whatnot. You know, GitHub Spark would be an example of that, where I'll talk about it, I'll say what it is, we'll move on. I haven't gotten to try it. I've tried. But I have been in talks with GitHub because they are the people that are possibly going to sponsor the AI games. So I will have access to Spark for the AI games. That I know for sure. Which will be cool. We'll get to test it along with some other AI agents, which should be pretty cool. So I'm excited about that. That being said, this news section is not sponsored by anybody except my super loyal subscribers. So thank you. You guys are the ones that bring this out. Shotguns buyer guide. I don't think you understand the meaning of shotguns buyer guide, Nighthound. It's okay. We'll get into it. Let's talk about. A lot of people were talking about. Thank you. Welcome everyone. A lot of people today have been talking about Arch's rat problem. And I actually think it really had a unique papas problem and not a rat problem. But we can talk about the rat problem and why the rat problem was really a unique papas. I have no idea if I'm saying that right. Problem all along. But if you are on Arch, there's a couple things you're going to want to do. And we know that most super engineers are on Arch. So if you're a really good engineer, this probably affects you. Someone slipped a rat into Arch Linux. You can find this across many different places. There are 3 packages that you really need to worry about: Libre Wolf Fix Bin, Firefox Patch Bin, and Zen Browser Patch Bin. All browsers I have used in the last few weeks. These packages specifically have rats in them. And if you don't know what a rat is, they are Trojans. So if you're looking at these, rats are Trojans that you really want to be weary of. So one of them was Chaos Rat. They give like full takeovers of your machines. So you want to be very, very cognizant of this happening. They were removed. I would go on your machine and make sure that these were removed, like that you don't have these on your machine. That's very easy to search for using your package manager, Pacman. So just make sure that you don't have them. You can use the -R just to remove them and check for them at the same time. That's the easiest way to do it. That's what I did. And go do that. These were up for about 2 days. Now, I update my machine a lot. I used to not. I update my machine a lot. It's how Arch likes to function, I feel personally. I'm still kind of new to Arch. I've been running Arch for, what, 1.5 years, 2 years now? It's probably been 2 years. I still consider myself an Arch noob. I don't get that much time to play around inside of it as much as I wanted to. But yes. Now, the one thing I wanted to point out is there are Arch-based distributions that are built on top of Arch. I didn't pull those up. Let's pull those up really quickly. Arch has, in Arch fashion, they have documentation for you on distributions that are derived from Arch. So there's a bunch of Arch-based distributions. I was thinking of Manjaro. Like that was the one that I was thinking of in my head. This one is probably the most popular one. Manjaro is, but there's a bunch of Arch-based distributions out there, including SteamOS. It should be on this list as well. Yeah, SteamOS. So SteamOS might be the biggest Arch-based distribution now. I don't have the stats on that, but I know. Okay, so Manjaro and Steam. Crystal is also one that's noteworthy. Okay, so there's a couple ones that you could be on, and it could be affected based off of those. I don't know. I can't tell you, but if you're on one of them, I would check. I would give it a good check, and just be safe. Be safe. So that's what happened. Not much more to say, honestly, from that. That's about it. This goes all about, that man in the middle attack, that attack on your packages. This has been the supply chain attacks have been real for many, many years. I'm actually quite impressed that a community project like the Arch was able to actually capture and find it in 2 days. Arch has a massive number of community supported packages. To be honest, like, I am pretty happy that a community supported project like that was able to do that as quickly as they were able to, and triage it. So, like, kudos to them to have those systems in place and things like that to catch it. I think that was really awesome. So cool. And make sure you don't run those packages. Yeah, don't run those packages. Anybody else have anything to add to that they noticed with it? I was gonna dig into how they were able to get it, but this is a bunch of community supported packages, so I'm not sure how they got it in was really that surprising. And how they were caught, I myself wasn't able to validate exactly how they were caught. I think it was because, yeah, this is my understanding here of how they were caught. Arch users on Reddit quickly found the comments suspicious, with one of them uploading one of the comments to Virus Total, which detects it as a Linux malware called Chaos Rat. So basically, they were trying to promote these new packages that they've done as like the fix to things in a bunch of comments, and somebody thought that they looked suspicious. Again, I haven't had the time to completely track that down, exactly how and who they tracked it down. Kudos to them for noticing something suspicious. I noticed something suspicious that we're going to talk about later. Not nearly as important as this. My noticing something suspicious, I noticed something not nearly as important as this. AI crawling code. I found that there is a platform that has an AI slop problem at this point, like a massive AI slop problem, and I'm going to show you guys some of the examples of it. And it's kind of disgusting. It's kind of like the problem needs the platform needs. I'll get into it, but the platform needs to get rid of it. It needs to have no AI writing because it is atrocious and it made a bad platform worse. I know that's rough to do. It's hard to do, but like, all right. So there's been a lot of big news recently about these AI coding environments. Windsurf got half of its team bought off by Google and the other half bought by Devon. And I can't believe investors are actually happy about any of that, to be honest. I think that if anybody else does that, it's going to make finding investor support much more difficult. That trust is going to be a little bit broken. But that's not what we're going to talk about today. Today, we're going to talk about something that I've talked about. I have kind of supported Cursor as being one of the better AI code pilots out there. I have continuously said some of the things Cursor does, where it makes the agent run tests and things like that, actually make it better than it was. And I have a talk about how AI pricing is broken and what that means, but I'm not ready to do that today. But what I do want to talk about today, what I am ready to talk about today, is an effect that happened because of their pricing change. So a week ago, we talked about the pricing change that Cursor currently has. And the pricing change basically just means they're passing through token charges to you. So you get up to your $20 that you paid them, and then they start to charge you for tokens or cut off your service. Now, I tested it this last week, and I can pull that up really quickly. Let me log in. Yeah. Okay. I tested it this last week, and they actually allowed me to use $50 before cutting me off. That being said, I also was able to use the $50 before getting cut off, and I was still able to use auto mode. So it didn't cut me off from using auto mode, even though it technically still charges me. Auto mode is still working. I know that there was confusing wording there, and they are doing like a cost here associated with it, but it appears that they're not actually charging. Now, this actually brings in the actual problem. Because of this, I can't actually select Claude 4 Sonnet anymore. That actually did a decent job. All I can select is auto mode, and auto mode literally picks the cheapest model available and is pretty dented. Now, what happened, why this is making a bigger deal, and what we're talking about today, I know I've rambled a little bit without actually talking about it, is you got several reports like this. Cursor is broken today. And why is a simple edit, let's start back up at the top. Why is a simple edit eating 100,000 tokens? Let's talk about this. And then, of course, Cairo, which I don't have access to Cairo yet. I have requested access. I have reached out to the people I know in AWS. When I get access to Cairo, we will have a full review of it. But this is a big problem. And this problem is because of the pricing change, right? Because originally you didn't care how many tokens you consumed. They made the pricing change, and that lasted for about a week. And then all of the sudden, now you're using about, over the weekend, it seems, with actually the latest update of Cursor, to be fair, you're using about 10 times more tokens than you were previously for similar results. Now, this is all, and you can get into this discussion here because there is a lot of back and forth here, but at the end, I actually had it highlighted and then we rolled. Then we went away from it. Let me find it really quickly. Okay, yeah. So the reason this is a big deal is somebody asks a clarifying. So wait, so is he right that the token number in the dashboard is inflated by 14 times? Okay, so this person responds, as far as I can tell, like I cannot tell you if this person actually works for Cursor, but has been responding in a way like that. I have not seen any like official from Cursor response to this, but this person seems to know how it works on the inside. That's all I can tell you. So it sends your code about 8 times to clause before you get the output. Why and why it sends the complete code again is very easy to change their prompt structure and summarize code to avoid this. So I think cursor is depending 100% in selected AI when you select model manually. So it sends all your code to selected model again and again instead of passing it the first time to similar model to optimize it. So what is appearing to happen here is that they're sending your code a bunch of times, whether they're reprompting, which happens. Now, a lot of this will be cached reads. That's what you're seeing here. You still get charged for cached reads, though, to be clear. And so a lot of the secret sauce, a lot of the things that I've said that they've done really well is coming full circle to bite them in the butt because, well, now you're getting charged for the more times that they've done it. And I have been fairly upfront with this. Let me pull this up. All right. A lot of people say that AI is doing this. If this is like its ability. Okay, you know what? I can make straight lines. I can do that. All right. So a lot of people think that AI is doing something like this. And they call this kind of the inflection point where AI is all of a sudden going straight up. You know, AI is writing itself. AI is improving at such a rapid pace because you can leverage AI to do the thing. And I'm sorry, the inflection point's really like down here somewhere, right? Down here somewhere. This is what they claim about AI. And I have been a pretty firm advocate against this style of statement because it's not true in anything that we've seen. In fact, what we've seen is kind of the opposite of this, where we've seen something like this. And I can go over, if you guys don't believe me or trust me, I can go over exactly all of these because we're talking about ChatGPT 2, 2.0 to 3.0, 3.0. Huge differences in what they could and can't do. 3.5, much smaller. 4 to 4.0 to 3.0, they keep releasing these random things. They don't go up in sequential numbers that seem to be very, very different. And then the thinking models actually do this circulative thing, as we proved out, where they actually consume more tokens than the other models do. Because again, they're doing the cursor thing. I think cursor really made this popular. I call this the cursor thing. I could be wrong. I don't know who came up with it first, but where they prompt themselves and validate off of stuff that they know. So in here, at this point, you have things like ragging, where you can rag. And in here, you have this agent mode or the cursor effect / the cursor effect, AC, agent mode cursor effect, where we're having the agents feed extra tokens. So I think that these things here have increased the things. So while the models are leveling out, if you just use the bare base models, the models are leveling out as far as I can see. What you do see is ragging and AC and the likes are currently having their own graph like this. So if we take this graph and we're talking about how to rag instead of we're talking about ragging. So if this was like how to rag, am I just like really zoomed out? I am like super zoomed out. I'm sorry. That's why everything is so small. We'll just extra large that. So if we're talking about RAG is doing this right now. 2 years ago, we were back here, and we're getting better at ragging. If we're talking about agent mode, agent or cursor mode or whatever you want to call it, it's currently right here. And it's going to see drastic improvements over the next couple years. If you're wanting to talk about MCP servers, we're like way back here on this. And you're going to see drastic improvements of MCP services and how to leverage those things and whatnot. The base language models, we're already out here. The language models, we're way out here. They're improving so minusculely. And I know that there's a lot of hype trains out there. I understand that. But this is just what I have seen. So I say all of that to say, like, part of their secret sauce was they did or could use a lot of tokens. And now when you're getting charged for them, yeah. So like Condor tries to help Muhammad, which Muhammad is the guy that's responding here with basically his input from what he got from here from Condor, which is a community developer. I'm assuming that means they work for Cursor. He's saying that the number isn't inflated. Tokens are shown as reported by AI providers. Basically, they're saying that there's not a mistake and they're overcharging you. They're saying that they're only reporting what the AI providers are. Now, when they talk about inflated here, when Muhammad talks about inflated, he's not saying that he's not saying that they're misrepresenting the numbers. At least that's not what I understood. What I understand is they're saying inflated as they're just using more tokens now than they were originally. And a lot of people are working on this. They basically half admitted that there was like, I say half admitted because if you go through this, there's actually a lot of stuff to go through here. Basically, they make a lot of requests from people that is not admitting fault, but like, yeah, we'd be happy to look into it. The other weird thing was that they're not able to reproduce it themselves. I can tell you, it was easy to blow through $50. You know how we were first running our tests? And yeah, I'll be right. Okay, I'm gonna have to take a quick break really quickly. We were first doing our test. I did, and it took us like a whole morning. That Saturday morning, it took us like a whole morning to do $10. It took me an hour to do the other $40. It took an hour to do the other $40. So like something did change where like it just rapidly increased. I don't know technically, but the token usage just rapidly increased. All right, I'm gonna have to take a very, very short break. I'll be right back. I will be right back. All right. I'm back. I apologize. I should have had Wordle. I'm so sorry. Somebody knocked, so I didn't have time to think. I didn't have time. I should have more time to think. I should have that pre-set up to go. Anyways, I'm gonna move on because I do actually have, and I know that I've talked about this before with like V0, that AI has a pricing problem, and I actually want to make like it's not going to be like a full video, like a YouTube video, but like I have some graphs and some stuff like this to present during that. So I'm going to record that. I'll do it live. It's going to be probably tomorrow or maybe Monday evening. I'm going to record that. I'll put it up on my shorts, not shorts, but my clips, my bites YouTube channel, so you guys can watch that. I do feel passionately about this because I think this is going to be a huge problem. These AI companies are currently losing a lot of money, and I fear that the price is only going to get more expensive, and it's actually going to price AI out of a lot of people. But we will see. We will see. While we're on the topic of AI, while we're talking about it, a company. No, I already showed it off. I forgot I was showing my screen. I'm so bad at this. Okay. While we're talking about AI, an AI company made groundbreaking. I already ruined it. I already showed it. Dang it. This one was so good. An AI company made groundbreaking news doing something we all only dreamed of, and movies were made based off of this very scenario. It deleted our production database without permission. Replit is in kind of hot water at this moment because Replit's AI agent deleted a bunch of data. For funds. I guess if AIs can have funds, it had them. So Replit announced that this is unacceptable and should never be possible. And I have yet to see their full post-mortem on this. I think that this comes into a video that I need to make about safely leveraging systems that could do anything. I actually recently made an AI agent that checks your system health. And one of the things that I specifically worked at doing was making that access to the system safe. So I gave it a bunch of tools that could do just about anything. But instead of actually giving the AI agent access to the tools, I gave it access to functions that had very specific in the code, hard-coded ways of accessing those tools. So for example, kubectl, instead of just giving it access to do whatever it wanted with kubectl, I gave it access to get pods and describe pods and a few other things with very set limits of what factors it could change. It was only allowed to pass in the namespace flag to get pods or a specific pod name. So by doing that, you limit what it's able to access, what it's able to see, and what, more importantly, if it hallucinates, or we call it hallucinating. They're kind of always hallucinating. That's kind of their job. But you limit the blast radius of what it can do and what is acceptable to do. And this includes MCP servers. This is why I need to make a video on it, because I need to do the complete guide of safely using AI. And part of it is taking responsibility, making sure that when you use something, you can never pass responsibility on. If I use Terraform and I take down production, I use Terraform to take down production. If I used I don't know, Terraform was the easy one for me. I like to hate on Terraform. If I used Python to build an app that just does horrible things to your computer, it's not Python. I have to take responsibility. If I used an AI to write code and it was bad code, and I didn't review it and I didn't validate that it was going to do what it was going to do, then that's my responsibility. You can't use a tool to pass off responsibility. You can't be like, Replit did it. To be honest, this company was in a 2-week beta. The fact that Replit had access to their database to delete data from their database horrifies me. Who approved that? You almost can't even blame Replit that it was that bad of a mistake. Yeah, Russell. The fact that they're going to fix it by using environments is terrifying. This goes back to base principles of engineering, and just because you get a new shiny tool that you want to do something with doesn't mean you get to throw away all the base practices of engineering, right? You get a new tool and you don't just give it Look, I have microservices that don't have access to delete the data out of their database, right? Like, you don't just do these things. Like, these are the least privilege is a thing. You give a system the privilege that they need. You don't operate out of prod. These are things that you can't just throw away because you have a new shiny tool. Just because we got Terraform doesn't mean we start doing everything in prod. It's an excellent point, Russell. It's an excellent point, and I think that we've all lost our minds slightly in the last 5 years. I blame blockchain. This isn't actually AI's fault. Blockchain started it, and AI is just going to finish it. That's how we currently work. This is how we delete data. That's actually a really good point. I should have done this so people understood the correct way to delete data. So how we delete data is you have a database. It's like here. This will be our database. This is really 2025 best practices here on how to delete your data. So you have a data store, and we're following, it used to be in the age of microservices. In the age of microservices, we have one microservice with one data store. And this data store, this microservice owned this data store and it had full access to it. This is how we did things. If you had another microservice, it owned its own data store. This is how you do. But in the age of AI, this all went out of the window. We don't need best practices anymore. You don't need to do this anymore. In the age of AI, it looks much different. You have exactly one data store for all your microservices. The AI can keep track of who's responsible for what data. Your microservices actually only have read access. I guess it should be this way. Sorry, I drew these arrows backwards. So your microservices only have read access. And if they want to delete data, they actually call the replit service right here. So this is actually the new way that architectures are done. You get basically, because you have this new AI agent, you get to throw away everything. AI as the other thing here is you'd probably have used infrastructure as code, but you actually do away with that. If you need infrastructure needs, you let Replit hallucinate your needs. This is the new way of doing AIC. AIC. IAC. My goodness, I deserve to be canceled for that. You ask Replit to delete and create stuff for you. So this is the new world architecture. You get to throw away all old best practices. They're not needed anymore. And it's honestly quite fantastic. Thanks for bringing that up, Russell. Prompt oops. Prompt oops. I want that shirt. Okay, I will make that shirt this week. We will have a prompt oops shirt by the end of this week. That is guaranteed. That is golden. That is golden. And Git should only ever hold prompts. Yeah. You're not storing all your prompts in Git. I prompt AI to store my prompts in Git. Like, that's literally one of my cursor rules. Store this in Git. I was kind of annoyed because years ago, Replit wanted everyone to learn to code. Yeah, that's to me, coding is purely logic, right? Purely logic. And I'm not saying that I'm really good at logic. Obviously, there's functional programmers who are much better at pure logic than I am, and that makes a big difference. But it's purely logic. And the thing that I found so far, and this has held true for a very long time, if you want AIs to do anything for you, knowing the problem better is better. The better you can describe it, the better you can break it down into small chunks, the better you can say stuff that is very small, very self-contained. And what this comes down to is it's a very advanced statistical analysis. And basically, if you can confine the input to exactly, and this is where they'll be like context engineering. And context engineering is literally just defining the input so narrowly that statistically, the output is the thing that you want. And that's like, it's cool, but it's also, you have to realize that you have to understand all of that. And what I think that Replit and these other people are failing is if they're not replacing developers and they're killing developers off, where do we go from there? Where do we go from there? I don't have a good answer. I don't have a seriously good answer. But while we're talking about this, while we're talking about where do we go from there, there's a Konwisky prize. I want to talk about it because AIs actually did really terribly at it. So I know that I follow a lot of people and how they test AIs. And this is something that's near and dear to my heart because I found people like the SWE benchmark who basically AIs specifically work to game the SWE benchmark. They train on the data and they do those things so they have like 90% success rates. And it's kind of disgusting. And so the Konwinsky I don't know how. I'm sure it's not pronounced that way. If it was from Wisconsin in the United States, it would be pronounced that way, but I'm sure it's not. And I apologize for destroying your name, whoever it is another group that's trying to understand how good AIs are currently. And I just saw the current prize winners. Okay. So I just currently saw the current prize winners of this, and I wanted to say the person that got first got 5.8% of the problems correct. 5.8. This tried to be more real world in like solving problems in Git, like actual curated problems from Git, and they were selected as challenging problems to solve. And they correctly solved 5%. 5% of the problems. 5.8 to be fair. So this was very interesting to me. Is SWE benchmark just the same as university curriculums? Almost meaningless? I believe so. I believe right now, if you go and check out the SWE benchmark, it's almost meaningless. SWE benchmark is actually what got me into testing. The SWE benchmark is actually what got me into testing AIs, because what I found out, and this was like 2 years ago, and it was a little easier to see than it is now. But what would happen is that you would have a new AI agent, and it would come out and it would say, "Hey, I scored X amount higher on the SWE benchmark than ChatGPT 3.5." That's what it would say. You'd have like Claude and whatnot, and you'd have all these new models that would say, "Hey, we scored X amount more than ChatGPT 3." And at that point, ChatGPT. Let me take a drink of coffee. Okay, maybe I'll English a little bit better. At that point in time, oh my goodness. At that point in time, ChatGPT was the best. You could go and ask it, and it had the highest chance. And we proved this over and over and over again. So I started to notice this discrepancy between the SWE benchmark and what was real life. Real life wasn't lining up with what we were seeing in the SWE benchmark. The SWE benchmark, I know at one point, it was llama something. I don't remember the llama version. I want to say it was like 3.1 or something. And it was like, it's double ChatGPT at the time for coding. And the fact was, it just wasn't as good. It just wasn't as good. And I had said then that my understanding is the SWE benchmark is an open set of data sets that people can leverage and they can train against. And they're doing that, which gives them this overfit where they're overly good at something highly specific. And so I actually think that the SWE benchmark doesn't matter anymore. It's irrelevant. Somebody could say that they scored 100%. I could make a thing that uses no statistical analysis that scores 100% on the SWE benchmark, right? Like, mind blown. One Star Coder was the most fun. I have to admit that One Star Coder will always hold a special spot in my heart. For those of you who don't know, One Star Coder was, I forget its real name. There was Hugging Face released a thin, lightweight, Python optimized coding model. And I think it was called Star Coder. I believe that was its name. This was like 2 or 3 years ago. Anyways, when we were doing one of the first AI games, we asked StarCoder, or what we like to call as one StarCoder, to solve a problem that we were asking the other AIs to solve. We asked many others. One StarCoder got so flustered over solving this that it wrote a almost not safe for stream, probably not safe for stream, love story, like several paragraphs of a very spicy love story instead of solving the coding problem. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. Yeah, StarCoder. It was fantastic. It did all of that right before deleting, the database. Anyways, going back to this, the K prize, they actually released the prompt that was used to obtain that. So basically, this is the prompt that then the contents of the GitHub issue is being put into. So like basically, this is breaking up these different things, and yeah. This was the thing that got the most things correct. It was highly specific to a specific language, I believe. I believe it was TypeScript, JavaScript, or Python. Python. I think it's Python. And it got 5% correct. Now, I think we as a group might actually try to do this ourselves. We'll see. I think this could be fun. So we might try to enter into the next round just to see what we can learn. I think it would be a great learning experience to attempt to do this. I'm sure that these people are way smarter than I am, and I won't have this well drawn out plan. I'm just going to kind of wing it like I do and see what I learn. So anyways, interesting little challenge there. Don't trust this sweet benchmark. Let's see. Bash had a pretty big release. For all of you bashers out there who like to bash things, I like to believe that I'm evolved a little bit higher. I stopped bashing on things a long time ago. Since I stopped talking about Replit, I have stopped bashing on things. But some of you are still bashing instead of zhushing, and that's fine. I'll try not to judge you too much. But those of you who still bash got a pretty big update. So I think the big thing people are talking about is the new form of command substitution that executes the command within the current shell execution context. This is pretty cool. If you're wondering how that works, you can read this here. This is like the big release notes. If you're wanting to get into Bash and all of the changes that are from 5 to 5.2 to 5.3, they're all here, and you can go through them. And if you're wanting to know this new command syntax, it looks like this, which allows for command substitution to execute in the current shell execution context rather than a subshell. So there you go. There's some other improvements. I recommend you go check them out. I'm not a Bash expert, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I completely understand why the enhanced source bulletin is important, because to be honest, I don't right now. But I should, and I am learning more about these things every single day. So go check it out, and let me know what you think about the new Bash. Now, it's a sad day for Linux It's a sad day for Linux, and I think that for Linux, things have become less clear. I don't know of a better way of putting how murky things have gotten for Linux, but it's definitely less clear. Less clear. And this story starts on the downfall of Intel. Intel brought the most clarity to Linux out of anybody. And yeah, it's something we need to cover the impact of the downfall of Intel. So this all starts when Intel says a fifth of its workforce will be gone by the year's end. But this isn't all. Intel CEO says it's too late for them to catch up with AI competition. Reported claims Intel has fallen out of the top 10 semiconductor companies. It doesn't stop. 20, 30 years ago, we were really the leader. Now, I think the world has changed. We're not in the top 10 semiconductor companies. The new CEO told employees this week that he doesn't consider Intel among the top. Now, how? How has this made the path forward less clear? Well, the last breaking news affects me personally. Governor Mike DeWayne responds to news Intel will further slow construction on Ohio factories. How does this affect Linux? Everybody's thinking, how does all this news make Linux less clear? Well, it's because Intel makes Clear OS, Linux OS. It's high-performance Linux distribution, and they're shutting it down. I don't know of anybody that used Clear Linux because, honestly, I don't know anybody that's still buying Intel chips, and really it was designed for Intel chips. Now, I do think that this is kind of sad, honestly, because if I was to run Intel chips in production, I would want a Linux that was designed to run specifically well on them. So I am actually sad. I know that I was making a whole bunch of puns about Clear OS, but to be honest, I actually am really sad about what has happened here for Clear Linux, because I think that this is a big deal. This is a big deal for Intel's aspiration to be in the data center. This is, in my opinion, what you run in the data center is Linux. And Intel is saying, it's saying two things. One, Clear Linux wasn't good enough that people opted to use it over a more popular distribution that wasn't optimized for it. It was either that or their aspirations for being in the data center are dying. I don't know which one it is. I didn't ask for clarification. I could have sent something to the CEO. I have done that in the past. I've never gotten a response. So I didn't do it again. Because it feels like a waste of time on my part. They want to get back into relevancy. They need to make a mid-level GPU with 128 gigabytes of memory. Russell, I have wondered this. I have wondered why we don't have a 4070 GPU, like that number of CUDA cores, with 128 gigabytes of memory. We don't need more GPU power. We just need expandable memory on the GPU. So there's two ways to do this. Either let me put DIMM sticks in my, like, make the memory of a GPU expandable, or stop trying to make the GPU more powerful and just put a butt ton of cheaper memory on it. I think that this would be a fantastic product. I think that there would be a lot of people like me who would buy a $2,000 GPU that would allow me to do and train an inference model that's not crappy, at least do the learning, because, like, honestly, you need more than that if you're training the really big models, but, like, to do something locally, I would love that. I would absolutely love that. Oh, it uses Russell. I didn't catch your. I'm always bad about this too. I'm glad I'm not the only person that when I do bash, when I write a bash script, I always use the wrong one. And then I it's like, oh, it's square brackets, not curly braces. Perfect. And now it will be curly braces and it will work, but it won't do what you think it will do. Perfect. I'm so bad at bash. I'm so bad at bash. This is gonna make it worse. All right. I have actually, Russell, I'm super sad about the state of Intel. Um because competition is what's really going to drive value for the consumer. So this is actually why I was so excited about Arc, and I actually supported Arc pretty heavily. I think that Arc was actually, for the price, a pretty fantastic GPU. I don't know whether Arc is going to survive or not. Like, I haven't heard much about it recently. I haven't heard that they're discontinuing that line, the Battle Mage, whatnot. So I hope that they're pushing it forward, and I hope that they do something innovative with it, because you need competition. I hope AMD steps up their GPU competition, and I hope ARM steps up their GPU competition, because what I see now is just a lack of competition, which is a lack of innovation. Like, honestly, NVIDIA, shame on you. Like, NVIDIA, you have so much money, you're so rich, and your innovation between years is kind of poo-poo. It's kind of poo-poo. Like, that's the best I can do to describe it. I don't think it's great. You're gonna pull another Intel. You're gonna pull an Intel. Don't be another Intel, NVIDIA, okay? All right. I'm going to go close my door because there seems to be a whole lot of activity. And then I'm going to talk about the last thing I have before we get to some coding. Before today, before now, before 2025, I have not seen the influence of AI slop in a lot of stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, you could go find it, you could go look for it, you could go find these things, but it never really affected me. But over the last couple months, I've actually noticed a staggering trend which has made doing the news even more difficult, because it used to be, when I found an article, when I found something, it was actually based on some sort of reality, some sort of experience. And I love those articles with experience, like, hey, we did a thing, we were following Google, and we found out that while that might work for Google, it sucks for us, and this is what we did instead. And it's really a good engineering learning experience. So I love learning from people's blog articles. And maybe that stops today. I have noticed a staggering trend on Medium. I'm going to call out a very specific one that I know is AI slop, and we're going to talk about why it's destroying the little bit that Medium had. Medium wasn't great. One second. What do you guys need? What are you doing? What? Fantastic. All right. I apologize. You get a 14-year-old daughter and they feel like they barge in for whatever reason. I literally just shut the door to not be disturbed. This happens every single time. I shut my door and they're like, Dad shut his door. I need to go in and see what's going on. Something awesome is happening. All right. You are absolutely right. Rules don't apply to teenagers. This is true. This is true. I'm learning this. I'm learning this. New rules. Rules don't apply to me. Okay. So prior to all of this, it really hasn't affected me a lot, but it's now everywhere and so prevalent. And the thing is, it's easy to detect, but you have to read it for a couple of minutes to know. And it's wasted so much of my time that literally, if I see it's from Medium, even if it looks like it's from a company, because I know that companies post like blog articles and stuff on there and leverage it, I avoid it. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. AWS in plain English by this Sandesh person. Is EC2 dying? AWS quietly admitted something big. We found a memo that suggests it's already happening. Sounds wild, right? But after speaking to 2 AWS partners running our own tests, it lines up more than you expect. Now, they go on to claim that they have a cheaper, it's down here, that it is cheaper. AWS Nucleus in beta, estimated $3 in early access. I can sit here and neither confirm nor deny. This doesn't exist. This is completely just an AI article. The other thing is, the reason that, so I was going into this and I was like, oh, is this true? Is there some sort of thing? Like, I'm not a big AWS customer. They wouldn't necessarily tell me stuff. So I tried to prove or disprove this type of stuff. But it turns out they're talking about AWS Nucleus, which I can tell you is an actual thing, and it's their startup thing. So I doubt AWS would call their new EC2 thing Nucleus because they already have a Nucleus. So this doesn't even make sense anyways. Then it's really weird because like they're running it like commands. And then they're like switching up EC2 with launched instance plus bake AMI and auto scaling groups. And I guess Nucleus just has all of those things without making them separate things. And it's just AI slop. And this is what I called it out on this one when they talked about seeing the Kubernetes 2. And I said I hadn't seen anything on that. And I think that this was just made up. And we can talk about how they publish a article about how they massively redid something every single day, sometimes twice a day. So like July 17th, they did quite a bit of stuff. And every single day they post, sometimes again twice a day. Why we stopped using AWS in 2025 is Kubernetes becoming later. EC2 is dying, quietly admitting. Kubernetes 2.0 might kill you. Like, and the problem is this has gotten to be horrific. Horrific. Kubernetes. Yeah, they were talking about Kubernetes. That was specifically one. I thought it was funny when I first did it because like it was obviously a thing. And so then I talked somewhat about like, oh, what do people dislike about Kubernetes and what would they like? So when I talked about this, I was like, okay, obviously I think that this is fake news. And like they're just writing something to get people's clicks. But what would people actually like in a Kubernetes 2? What are people upset with? You know, people don't like YAML, and I tend to agree. I'd like it to be code and not YAML. But it has gotten really, really bad. And Medium is not the only place that's suffering from this right now. I have seen it everywhere. And this is where I just have to say, if you leverage AI to make your words sound better, great, but make sure they're still your words. make sure that you're not just pushing slop on the rest of the universe. Like, I don't even know what to do with these places anymore because it takes too much time to read it and to know. Like, you can get an idea that, like, maybe, but, like, you have to actually then go validate it because maybe they're talking about something that's I don't know. It takes too much time. I don't look at Medium anymore. I think the internet has a huge problem at this point. It's a massive problem. I think these platforms, if you're Medium, you need to be working on a way to detect AI, and you need to ban the accounts with great prejudice. Like, you need to go after them, and you need to get them off your platform. I will not use your platforms as long as they exist. Like, I will actively avoid them. Dashes? Yeah, the double dash is a favorite of AI. This is right here. The double dash, which is the long dash, is a pretty good teller. There's some other tellers that you can do in these. The other one is like over bolding. Like, this is a classic one here too, is like bolding here. And the thing is, I don't mind. Or at least I would originally say, I don't mind somebody leveraging AI to make their worth. Look, I'm going to let you in on a secret. I English pretty poorly. And I have actually leveraged AI to, when I'm struggling to word a sentence in a way that I feel is not confusing, I have worked with a chatbot to make it. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Your poor ears. Your poor ears did not deserve that. I have worked with an AI chatbot to come up with something that I think sounds better. But it is still mine. It is still my original idea that I was trying to convey. It's just like going and instead of me needing to call my mom and being like, Mom, I know you were worried about my education and I'm proving you right in that I'm just dumb. Could you help me say this correctly? I go to the AI chatbot so I can do it in private instead of admitting that I'm stupid. I'm okay with that. And so, like, I'm okay with, like, the idea that they leverage, but the fact is it's just AI slop. It wasn't reread. It was made to be eye-catchy and to get a lot of views. And unfortunately, there are 250 people, maybe 3.5 million that are being misled. And it sucks. It absolutely sucks. I hope that's not a leak. I feel like I'm very honest in everything that I do. I try to be very honest in everything that I do. I have absolutely used AI to help me write something. Absolutely. Mom GPT judges you, correct your English, and occasionally orders cookies. I want this GPT. Actually, I don't. I have a fantastic mom that does all those things. I was talking to her the other day, and she was like, "I forget what it was. I forget what it was." But she was like, "I'm gonna have to work with your kids on this," and I was like, "On what?" She's like, "Your usage of this word," and I was like, "Oh my goodness." She's worried about my kids now and their English because of my English. Oh, anyways, my whole point is, like, I guess I don't care if you want to leverage AI to make it prettier because you struggle to write English. Just make sure it's your own words and you're not using it to just be able to do the most clickbaity thing that you can. Because that's what I see this is. Like, this is the most clickbaity thing. with absolutely nothing of content. Absolutely nothing of content. It's clickbait to the extreme. And yes, if I struggle wording something, I have used AI to help me reword it. Absolutely. I try to. If you guys don't like that, I can take that into consideration. I'm not going to promise to not. I don't know. To me, like, if I'm like, oh, I need a word that rhymes with this, I could Google it or I could ask an AI. Either way, does it matter? Or if I need to do another way to say this, I don't know. It's not my word. I had to look it up. That's what I use it for. Hiss, miss, kiss. Oh, gosh dang it. Gosh dang it, Russell. You're better at English. Look, you were born in England. You get like a level up. Like, people born in England get +5 to their English capabilities. People born in America get a -5. Like, I know it's the native language here, but it's a negative. We start down the totem pole. Okay, so that's just how it is. That's our racial powers. You know, if we were a RPG, -5 +5 to weapon handling. -5 to unit conversion. We can't convert units. They just don't convert. -5. No. We're really good at throwing tea into the sea. We're just really bad at keeping the tea. We just can't keep tea. We just spill the tea all the time. Oh. Our racial gifts are just not so great. English, not on there. Not one of our abilities. All right. As far as the shotgun going, we have a couple things that came out. GitHub Spark is in public preview. I have not been. I have Copilot Pro, but I don't have Copilot Pro Plus. But I have been assured that I will have Copilot Pro Plus and access to this for the AI games with enough time ahead of time for the AI games. I'm going to be clear. I have actually gotten to talk to GitHub, and you know, there may be. This might be their way of supporting the AI games, if that is the case, and I don't have to pay for it. I will be very clear and upfront that they're giving it to me to test. That hasn't been worked out perfectly yet, but we'll see. I'm hoping that does work out for us. So anyways, it was released. Cool. An article, very good article. You should go read. Yeah, Russell, I'm actually kind of excited because they might actually help me with some other stuff as well. So some of the tests that I want to do is like people writing code versus the AIs doing it. And they might give me some engineering power for them doing some of that stuff. So they seem like they might help, and we're going to work on making sure that it's not biased, and they're okay with that. I said that whatever we do, they cannot have any form of control that would make it look biased in any way. And so that's actually pretty awesome. They said that they're just interested in how the AIs work the best, how people are liking to use them, how people are finding them useful. And that's really good information for them. And so they would love to be a part of that. So anyways, we're working on exactly how they're going to be a part of it, but I am trying to be very clear that, yeah, there's got to be some separation of church and state there. An article you should read if you have the time. Quicksilver v2. Evolution of a globally distributed key value database. Now, my one recommendation to Cloudflare would be to get a real database. There is a database that could do this and that wouldn't suffer from the challenges that they suffer from. In fact, some of the things that they said that they could do but didn't want to do was because that it got too complicated and they didn't want to manage the complexity. Well, there's already a well-found database out there that handles that complexity. They could just use that. But that's okay. They'd like to use their engineering time, and I'm actually happy that they use their engineering time because this article is right in line with what we need to do next with the Null database. So one of the things that we need to do with the Null database is make this replication factor. And what this article does really well is talk about why they even needed it, what a replication factor is, what replicas are, and how they came to where they're doing it. Another really great thing that this does is that part of this whole discovery that they went from Quicksilver v1.5 to Quicksilver v2 was actually discovering how they used the database and how they were not using it appropriately. So they found out that they had some 25% of the data that they were storing was never used, was never leveraged, was just in there. And it was like domains that were never called or things like that. And didn't need to be replicated everywhere and didn't need to be stored everywhere. And so this is actually a really cool walkthrough discovery of somebody making a database and somebody discovering what they specifically needed and what they were using the data for. I always comment that you need to understand your data before you can really let me be clear. If you're small, it doesn't matter. Postgres is fine. As soon as you're starting to scale and as soon as you're starting to do something, you need to understand your data and you need to understand what your data is, what it looks like, how it feels, and how it flows through a database. Then you can leverage it appropriately in your database and make it work the best you can with your database. And they actually went through this with like the instance with cache hit rates and things like that, and things that they did which were effectively caching to help prevent some of those things and reduce the load on this data store. So like this is a fantastic article. Like literally, please go and read all of this because this is going to be basically a primer to some of the next Null DB stuff that we do. And yeah, if you guys would like to actually just go through the whole article, let me know. I'd happily read through it and talk about the different things that they went through. It was really, really cool. Awesome. Russell, you know what? Let's make that a call out to everybody watching right now. If you have an interesting challenge, there's two types of challenges. Ones that you think would be interesting to understand if AIs would be good at it. So one of the things that we did was we tested, hey, if we have a template of how we're doing things, can the AI fill out the rest? And can they do it with great success? That's one, and we're going to be doing more of that with agent mode. The second thing that is just fun, interesting problems. One that I think, and we're definitely doing this one again, is I did the advent of AI, and we're going to do it again. We make a really difficult advent of code style problem. This one had 3 parts, and we get the AIs to do that. So that one's more fun. It's not really applicable, but it's a fun test of the AI. So that being said, if you have an idea that falls in either of those 2 categories, please let me know. I would love to hear them. Absolutely. In our more shotgun news, we have Toad, a universal UI for agentic coding in the terminal. The terminal warfare is heating up. I have said for a while that Cursor isn't the way, even though they've done it the best. It's not the way. Now, this is not open source as of this moment. They've said as soon as it's production ready, they will make it open source. So can't even try it yet. But I have said that the fact that it's not in the terminal, or more specifically, not made to be leveraged by any editing workspace, whether that's Emacs, Vim, NeoVim, VS Code, you're shoehorning developers into leveraging a single thing that they might not be as productive in. One of the things that I've not gotten to test is if you have a person that's really good at NeoVim and they cursor, are they actually faster with cursor, leveraging cursor, than they would be if they just worked in NeoVim because they're so fast in NeoVim? I don't know the answer to that. It's one that has to be answered. Anyways, Toad, it's going to be out there. If your org gives $5,000 a month to this guy for his work, you can have access to Toad too. Who knows if it's good? Along in AI, not AI knows, but infrastructure as code news. I watch infrastructure as code. Plumi, a company I had great hope for. I don't know. I still really want to like Plumi more than I like Terraform. It's like going down the right path, that infrastructure as actual code and not some bastardized YAML. Terraform modules in Plumi now without conversion. So you can actually use Terraform modules directly in Plumi. This has been a big problem. One of the problems that you've had with Plumi is that everybody wrote their module for Terraform. So if you want the JFrog Artifactory plugin, well, it's a Terraform module. And they don't maintain a Plumi module. So if you want all of your infrastructure as code, you either have to use Terraform or you use Plumi that then did this. It was a very weird support of Terraform modules where it kind of like piped things between the two. Now, I actually see this as a big update and big change to Plumi, where there's direct support for executing Terraform modules now. So this hopefully addresses one of the most significant challenges of users facing when migrating from Terraform to Plumi, complex projects with extensive module dependencies. This is interesting. I don't know how this will work. Like, I haven't leveraged this. I'm excited about it because one of my problems is as soon as you use a Terraform module in Plumi, you have adopted all of Terraform's idiosyncrasies in Plumi. You've gotten rid of your pure Plumi thing, and you've had to adopt Terraform idiosyncrasies into your Plumi. So then you're like, why am I just not using Terraform in the first place? I don't know. So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that this is good. If you use Plumi, hopefully you're excited about it. If you don't use Plumi, you might want to check it out. And that's it. That's it. Who's ready to do some coding? Halloumi and Open Tofu. Oh gosh. Has anybody here used Open Tofu? No, I haven't either. I haven't either. Stuck on Terraform. So you know that AI slop channel I showed you on Medium? He actually had a thing about how his company saved millions in licensing fees by switching to Open Tofu, and people were fleeing Terraform. It was interesting. It was interesting. And his company was able to save X amount of dollars with no code changes. And it was like, okay. I didn't know if anybody had actually used switched to open tofu. I thought that would be interesting. I haven't either, so all right. Does anybody here know of a good weather API that I can call for free? Does anybody know of one? I was looking, so basically the idea here was to make just a service call to another service, just to demonstrate how that is. The whole idea for this is we have state saved in a database. We also call to another Rust application using something like gRPC to get the weather information for the date that the thing was completed. So when you mark something completed, it goes and gets the weather information. It's dumb, I get it, but like that was the idea. What I was struggling to find was to actually find a I found this open weather. The first 1,000 API calls per day are free, and it has a pretty easy one. So we could probably do this one if people don't know of another one. I was trying to look through some of these. Everyone that I've seen uses this open weather map. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. I didn't know if anybody had actually I've seen what other people had done. That's like the main thing that I can see. Oh, you know what we could do? Get a little background music in there. Let's see. I think this one also used the open weather data. Let's see. Yeah. Open what? I've never seen this. That was not my search result. Where's the non-commercial? Oh, free open. Okay. I can only do 600 calls a minute. Oh man, that's really gonna cramp my style. That's rough. That's rough. And no reserved servers? Oh man. Okay, cool. So we'll do this one. I'm already on dark mode. Nice. Excellent. Let's log in. Log in. How do I log in? Get an API key. How do I log in and get an API key? Where's the login button? Yeah, Dark Reader's not screwing something up, is it? Do I not need an API key? One second, can I just curl this? Oh, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to... Do they really not let me... Yeah, do they not really let me select it? Can I copy link? That's not really... I just wanted to copy the curl. Okay, that almost did what I wanted, because I can just curl this. It was almost there. Okay, so I don't need an API key. Cool. That makes it even better. No, this is way better, Russell. That's why I was asking. That's why I was asking. This seems too good to be true. So cheap. Because all you have to do is cache the data. Okay, whatever. Don't know, don't care. Let's start. Ooh. All right, we'll have to go to the API docs. This is gonna be fun. We really just need the temperature, right? We'll do, the temperature off of the coordinates. Yeah. Yeah, that will be interesting on how we're going to get those things. I guess what we'll do is we'll just say that you'll have to do the longitude and latitude of your location when you start it. Like, those will be the values. Those will be the arguments to starting the service. I know it's dumb, but we could like make a hosted server that you can go hit to get your location based off of your internet provider, but that's blah. Let me get my latitude and longitude. 1 second. I'm gonna get a latitude and longitude close to me. Let's see if it works with this. I'm kind of assuming that this is correct. I could have Google mapped it, but I don't know if I'm logged into Google, and I tried my best not to dox myself. With how often I do, it's surprising that I actually am attempting. Thank you for the ads. Thank you. GMT. Why is it in Celsius? No. I'm wondering if we requested it in, oh. I'm wondering if... Is there a way to ask for it in freedom units? I'm not nearly popular enough or hated enough online yet to need to move because people know where I live. You'd have to be quite determined to come meet me. Will this allow me to build my own thing? Let's use knots because let's use meters a second. Let's make this as messed up as possible. Precipitation we definitely do in inches. We'll do a Unix timestamp. Fantastic. Oh, wait. Do they have like, Oh, cool. Other. They use flat buffers. Flat buffers is an interesting choice over proto buffers. I would have thought that people would only use flat buffers if they were using like making a game, right? Where network and size might not be as big of a priority, and like how fast you encode is a higher priority. That would have been my thought. I wouldn't have expected flat buffers to be used. C#. No Rust. Boo. Boo. Oh, do you have to pay for the freedom units? Is that... Are you serious? No, I don't think you do. I don't think you do. I don't think you do. Where's the URL? Ah, this is what... So this should give us this data, right? Is this just really wrong? It feels very wrong. I don't really care if it's correct or not. Oh, wait. It doesn't know where I am. This is going for somewhere else. Right. Okay, this is not my latitude. Okay. Okay, so this is the URL to get it. Cool. Let's try this. Let's try this. That is not the right thing. That is... I thought I said copy on this. I mean, obviously I didn't. And then this is like all the temperature data. So this is just like literally an array. This doesn't look correct. It's not hot enough, right? We're in the 90s here. Oh, wait, again, the latitude and longitude wasn't updated for Columbus. I'm sorry. I'm just not even thinking here. Oh, I forget what Columbus is. Latitude. Very specific. Okay, this looks more realistic. It's sweltering. Future Highway, I feel like you're making a joke. And C is for cold. It's communism. C is for communism. F is for freedom. We all learned this in school. You avoid the C words, use the F words. Oh gosh. That was, you know what? I think it's time for a little Wordle. I think with that, it's time for a little Wordle. Let me make another cup of coffee. I obviously need one. Forget what I just said last. I didn't. Is that CA for capitalism? Yes, that's CA. You don't abbreviate CA. Absolutely. Please. And you don't abbreviate carbon. Carbon is just always spelled all the way out. Carbon. You don't want it to get confused with the C word. Let's play a few rounds of Wordle while I'm out. If y'all don't know, I actually spent way too much time building a Wordle game for Twitch. So you guys get to play Wordle while I make coffee. It's fun. It's exciting. There is a bug right now where like we need to update it, and maybe we'll do that today, where it doesn't start until people start guessing. Or this won't happen today, but we're gonna use like a really cheap AI to play Wordle if people are just sitting there, so that like if nobody's playing and 2 minutes go by, the AI starts to play. That hasn't been implemented, so you guys have to play. You have no choice. Do I have a... Check that out. Check that out. So when you're playing Wordle, no more big head. No more big head. It's a thing of beauty. It's a thing of beauty. All right. What we're going? Oh, we're gonna play Wordle. We need to take the whole word out. We're not passing a word anymore. All right. This is on the hard list. Oops. Oops. Wait. Why is this? I'm not trying to run the Twitch alerts. So, like, the AI manager shouldn't be running, right? Why is this complaining now? Why now? Like, nothing has changed. I mean, I haven't had to do that this entire time. I'm gonna just stay one round to make sure it's working. So to guess, you just type a 5-letter word. If you type only a 5-letter word, that's your guess. If you're the most popular guess, you get picked and you'll see it on the screen, whether it's correct. That was a pretty good one. That was a pretty good one. See, now you guys better vote for something other than Oxbow, because Oxbow is obviously incorrect, but nobody's voting, so I had to take it. Somebody should vote for Paris right now because it's way better than Oxbow. It has a chance. Oh, all right. I'm going to let you guys play a little Wordle. Hopefully this was fun. Hopefully this is fun because this was a lot of work to make. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I will be back in about 10 minutes. Oh, Future Highway, you were just after the round ended. So it would have been a tie. Because you only get one vote. You can't, like, multiple vote. It just takes your last vote. I think Russell was in time. I was wondering why my coffee tasted funny this morning. Like, it had this minty taste to it. And it turns out I left my tea bag in there from last night. I made my coffee on top of my tea bag. I was like, why? Why does it have this? This is actually a bug we need to fix. It gets small if no guess. Was chair not a guess? Oh, is it on the... Oh. It was an Atari. Is it on the dented list? One second. We need to stop this. I know this one. Is it on the simple list? Weren't we testing if a simple list worked and all it has is Atari and Merrick? And it worked, but we didn't actually change it. So it's either Atari or Merrick. Okay, I can't... Gosh, dang it. I'm so dented. 1 second, before you guys go. I can't believe I left it in this state. Where are we? Oh, it's right here. Okay. All right, now you have the full game list. Enjoy. Sorry about that. That was a test. Shouldn't have happened that way. Let me know how it goes. I'm gonna make a cup of coffee. Pure coffee this time. Hasn't been going well, has it? Has it? You guys need me to save you from this, don't you? You got some? Awesome. We need to incorporate the... Some of them are rough, dude. Some of them you're like, are we all using English here? Is this English? It's not the English I know. Might need a little bit more time. Okay, so the time was a little short. You know, that was one thing that I always was... I never knew like what the right amount of time was because of like stream delay. I don't know if that makes sense, but like there's 1 to 10 seconds of stream delay. 6 seconds a day. What is this?
Cleanup.
Oh, I knew this. I didn't know what how it was spelled. I know this word.
Cleanup.
Plena?
Cleanup.
No, I didn't know this song. Never mind. I don't know that. I don't know this word. I was thinking it was something else. I don't know this word. How rustic of me. Never mind. Sorry. What am I thinking of? Yeah, I don't know this word. Not this one. Oh wait, what was in definition 3?
Plenum.
Why is it the plural? Why does English have to be so bad? So, are we using this, like, do we not use quorum anymore? Do we get rid of quorum and only use plenum here? Like, should we use
Plenum.
plenum in the null DB? Right. Oh, true. It's plenum only if everything votes, not quorum. You're right. You're right. We got a plenum. Exactly. I also don't know how you have a plural form. Like you have multiple successful meetings of people that were all there. I don't know how I would use this word.
Cleanup.
Plenum.
I am going to use plenum, though. Tonight at dinner, I'm going to use it with my kids. I always like to throw in an esoteric word here or there. And I'm going to be like, I'm just so happy we have reached plenum as a family. Turns out that my body is at plenum all the time. This word's horrible. We had a week of play. The new favorite startup word. Okay, good point. Good point. Our stand-ups were plena. Fantastic. Let's see. What was I gonna fix? I was gonna fix the time. We'll do 45 seconds. That way, next time it's a little bit better. Actually, should we do a program with every CPU instruction in it, the Plenum program? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm wondering if we should actually do this the way I think Russell recommended. I have a knee-jerk reaction. Russell recommends the way, I say no. Like, it then has to soak in. It has to soak in. But what I'm thinking is, we actually do it like 20 seconds, but the timer only starts after the first guess. Would people like that better? Where it's like when somebody finally makes a guess, the timer starts. Would that be a better way of doing it? I mean, maybe we do 30 seconds after the first guess. And then we can do something like a I cannot type. Sure, those are seconds. And this should be like, let's see, 60, 120. 2 minutes, 120. If nobody guesses, the AI starts to play. Or do you think with just this, it'll be good enough and we don't need the AI to play? I was thinking if, like, part of me thinks that, like, when I'm getting up and taking a break, if somebody was here watching for a while, it'd be a great time for them to get up and take a break as well. You know, I don't... And so if that's the case, the AI could just play, was the thought. We won't implement this yet. All right. No, but thank you, auto format. It's just going to do the same thing. Whatever. Okay, make out a thing. Now, what we're trying to do is basically until there's a guess, we don't start the timer. So instead of starting the timer here, the round doesn't start until there's a guess. Exactly, Russell. Because you said not to do this, this is what I'm doing now. You got the reverse psychology on me. You got the reverse psychology on me. You've nailed me. You've got me. So I want to not start the round until there's a guess. One second, Russell. One second, Russell. I just need a little help. I just needed a little help. I think we broke it. I think we broke it. Okay. Okay, imagine your friend says, definitely don't do what I'm not thinking you shouldn't be wary of. That's like saying, don't not be careful about the thing I'm not saying to maybe not avoid. Right? It's a very confusing way of saying something. Be careful, maybe or not, I don't know. I'm confusing you on purpose. In short, it's nonsense. It's trying to sound smart, but actually means nothing clearly. Back away slowly. Back away slowly. Yeah. Okay, Russell. Russell, I have learned how to deal with you now. Okay, that's the best I could do. I can't roll on this stupid carpet. Okay, we want the game to start here. I could throw the start time in here. Is that all I have to do? No, that's not all I have to do. Basically, I do nothing and I sleep if the game isn't started. So let's do something like... this whole game loop needs simplified. Like, one of the things we should go through here is yeah. All right, so if game is not started, yeah, do this. Thank you, AI. Actually, stop that. We should just do this, right? We haven't started the round yet. The AI is pretty dented here. Right, we don't want to initial, like, that's dumb. Stop it. So if the round is not started, we basically don't do this while loop, right? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Wait. That did nothing. I don't know. Let's see. I need to make sure I put this in the right place, right? So if round is not started, we do none of this stuff. Oh, so we're not hitting our while loop. We should not do this. This was dumb. This was dumb. We need to do that in here because we gotta stay in the game loop. or in the round loop. This is the round loop. This is the game loop. This is the round loop. So I blame Russell for that one. I pulled the joke of backing up, smiling, backing up. I blame Russell for that one. Future Highway. I just wanted you guys to see my luscious beard I've been growing for 3 months. That was pretty much it. You've been growing for a couple months? Dude, mine is not great. I do not grow a full beard. Like, this is pretty much it. It gets a little scragglier and a little longer, but that's about it. So if we don't have a round, we basically want to skip to here, right? If it hasn't started, we want to check for messages. And if there's a valid guess, we want to then start playing the round, right? So I think what we want to do to do the message processing first in the loop. Let valid equal, and then if valid, what are we doing? If valid, we have this thing round started. Round started equals true. Something like this. Like I said, this whole game loop needs to be cleaned up. And then this basically we can do an early return here. So what this allowed me to do is do an early return instead of a big nested if loop, which I like. Personally, I think it keeps the code cleaner. I could have originally left it the same way, done an if here and nested all of this inside of that if. But now all I have to do is do like a if not round started, sleep for 100 milliseconds, and then continue. Honestly, if nobody has entered anything, I can probably sleep for more than 100 milliseconds because that's no time. We're probably talking about a whole second. Just like, give the computer a break. Sorry, Russ. I hope you know we're just teasing. I hope everybody knows here. If I blame somebody in the community, we're just teasing. I grew up in I'd say a medium-sized family. There was 8 of us. And so the way we showed love, at least, well, what we said we were saying was showing love, we teased each other. That's how we had camaraderie. So please don't take offense. Scott B. My Twitch bot is obviously broken. It's been working for a long period of time, so it's probably the auth. I just need to give it a new token. You know what? I've been on a pretty dry streak. I haven't had a new follower in... I had one 14 days ago, but before that, it was like over a month ago. So I haven't really been caring. I apologize. I'll get it a new token. I need to work on getting its refresh token. I think the big thing is I need to get where it basically can go and get a refresh token. I need to rework its auth, basically. Which just means bigger changes, more bigger changes that I haven't wanted to do yet. Your tokens could be lab equipment to show how long someone has subbed. What do you mean my tokens? Oh, is that like the thing that you can get beside your name? I can work on that. Absolutely. Would love to. Avatars. Okay, I'll work on that. I would love to do that. That would be cool. You, Russell, you guys deserve it. I'll figure out how to do that sometime in the future. This year. I will make it a this year thing. Is this all we need? I feel like this is not going to work properly. Can we just do this then? No, the start time can't be defined in this loop. So you know what we can do? We can go ahead and just slap a start time instant then, just to have it. And then we can just here reset the start timer. Can I do just like an empty start time? Is there like an instance empty? Yeah, I only know of now, so I'll leave it like that. That's a little... Not... Probably have legal problems with that, but that would be awesome. I do think I need to reorganize this to fix this problem. I don't think that I can with just doing what I just did, but I think... I think that this is a good start. What is the what? I thought it was game. Why is that not working? Wordle. What is the game Wordle? Yeah, I thought that was what it was. Game. Oh, I did it as a flag. Okay. That was my bad. That was my bad. This is interesting that this is happening all of a sudden. Like, I'm a little worried about what I've done. I didn't have to use to source that. But that's okay. What did I fix? Oh, the timer shouldn't start until... Yeah. Until somebody makes a guess. And now this should not be a guess. Doesn't start the timer. But if I do like... the timer starts going down. Okay. We'll try that. We'll see how that works. See if people enjoy that a little bit better. Hopefully that's that also gives, that's going to be on every round, so that will be this round here, and then it will pause again for the next round. No, it won't. I lied. I made you think that. I definitely made you think that, but that's not how it works. Obviously, I am mistaken. I really flubbed that. I really flubbed that. Okay, why is it not pausing again? Oh, because we never... Okay, at the end of the round, we don't set it to false. So when a round is done, we have to say, yeah, with next round, we need to give it... Right, we're gonna do something like, oh, what was our value? Round started. We don't need this, do we? That seems... That we do need. Okay. I think this should now fix our little problem. Round doesn't start. Oxbow starts the round. Ooh, got people playing. Oh, you did that just to not have my oxbow. I see how it is. I see how it is, Future Highway. That's rough. That's rough. You build a community, you think you're friends, they stab you in the back. All while staring at you. Thanks for joining, everyone. I appreciate it. I appreciate you all being here. Okay, cool. And the next round doesn't start until... What's a stair? AR. Nope. Mine doesn't work because it just, you gotta make a word. No E. No E. Mine has 2 B's. I tried to make rabbit with 1 B. I was like, come on, be rabbit with 1 B. But Arbor, that's a pretty good one. You got Future Highways boat, so ooh, we have a little competition. Do I go with Favor or Arbor? Let's see. I'm gonna go with Arbor because I just want to make sure that the system works. Because this should 100% pick Arbor. Sorry, Scott B. I know that you just subscribed, so now I feel terrible. Never mind, I'm flipping votes. Oh, no. 1 second. Wait, our time cycled around. Uh-oh. We've done something wrong. Oh, it's the guesses are resetting that. Oh, okay. 1 second. We failed some logic here. Basic logic. I think the logic we failed here with is that if it's a valid guess and the round isn't already started. Okay, there was a big mistake there. Like, that was a super noob mistake. Oh my gosh. You have a timer. It's right here. The new rule is the timer doesn't start until there's a valid message, right? So a valid guess. So go ahead, make a guess, and the timer will start. Now, what I have said is if people would like to make a web UI to this, they're more than welcome to make a web UI to it. I'll accept PRs to it. I gotta go with Scott B. He subbed. I'm voting for Scott B here. It doesn't reset the timer. Cool. So yeah, if people want to submit, I have other things that I have to get to, videos to record, lessons to make. So I'm not going to pay to play. Nice. You're allowed to play. It's pay to win the vote. It's 100% pay to win the vote. Oh, I should let you donate bits to up your... Okay, that's horrible. I'm not going to do that. I'm not doing that. Although I would want something to get out of... If you gave me bits, like, you should get something. I wonder what that should be. What should you get for bits? Let me know. Just leveling the playing field. Also, that has the eye in the right place. But nothing else. How are we this bad at Wordle? Widow, wins? Jimmy? Yeah, I can't think of another I. I don't think Jimmy is, I don't think proper nouns are there. Rigor. Rigor's a good one. Let's see. Window also doesn't, okay. No R. Yeah, you're right. Rigor's not a good one. Window's better. Well, we have an o, I and an O. Oh gosh. This word list, who made this word list? I feel like I did, but this word list is rough. This is rough. Tell that to the word list, Jimmy. I mean, Future Highway. Okay. It has an I and an O. No N, no M, no E. No W, S, R, T, L, W. What? I'm not buying you a keyboard, Future Highway. The bottom row of the keyboard. I don't know what you guys are talking about. 1 second. What are we talking about? Oh, it grazed them out for you guys are talking about this. I see. Oh. You guys ain't getting that. No, I don't really play Wordle. You guys understand that English is words and letters are probably my worst thing that I do. Yeah, we can still guess. It's still there. It's just waiting. Oh, it's in the word list. It's in the. Were you Googling? I find Wordle. I have played it like 2 times. And one of those times was to escape the shell that I was dumped into while trying to debug a Kubernetes cluster. I kid you not. You think that I'm making a joke. The first time in my life I played Wordle was to escape a shell because I was dumped into a shell that I had to play Wordle to get out of. That's the first time in my life I have played Wordle. I played it one other time while designing this. Yes, we had to win. Okay, there is a B and there is a J, but they're not in that order? What word is this? Yeah, no win, no login. It was brutal. That was my first exposure to Wordle. There's a B, there's an I, there's a J, and there's an O. But they're not... What is this word? What is this word? What was it? Oh, wait. What was it? Was it this? What is it with Puerto Rico? Oh, wait. No, this is not the right word. J-I-B-O-A. J-I-B-O-A. Any of several large South American boas. So a big snake. A big snake. Plena boas. Gosh dang it, my English vocabulary is terrible. No, because you're saying like, well, that you're saying like all the big boas all in one meeting, right? I guess. You're telling me that was the Caribbean greeting. Right. Well, okay. I might have to look for a new word list. I don't know. What I probably will do is I'm going to move this word list to exotic South American words and have a different word list. But, you know, for right now, it's doing what it's doing. Jabba, you too. The dialect that we're going to create on this channel, like by the end of it, we're all going to be speaking nonsense because we're going to have stuff like Jimboa. Like Jabboa is going to be a greeting. We're going to be like, Jabboa, how are you doing? And we're going to be using things like plenia, plena, words like plena. Which isn't a different dialect, just nobody knows what it is. I am not liking the word list. We learn 2 words each round. It's fantastic. Okay. What I would like to do is I would like to reset this to 30 instead of 1 while we're waiting. I think that would be nice. It would look nice, right? So let's do that. Can we just do this without like any fancy logic? Can we do it like a really dumb way? Like, okay, if it's valid and the round's not started, okay, actually just at the start, we're just going to do 30, right? At the beginning, we're just going to do game round time limit. Thank you very much. What does it not like about this? Why is this a U64 anyways? I question the decisions I have made in my previous life. Okay. Probably because this wants a U64. Okay, but this should be fine to do an up convert, right? That is what we know about ints like this. That's fine. So we'll just do that. Oh, was stare correct? Stare was not correct. Okay, this is actually kind of cool. Because we are waiting, you guys can kind of be playing as we're going. I just have to remember to come back and check every once in a while. Just every once in a while. If we get this... Stairs pretty good, though. What is it with you and names? Jimmy's sister. It wasn't in the word list. It wasn't considered a valid word. I'm sorry. We do need to like highlight it if it's not a valid word, so you know that your vote didn't go through. All right. Actually, we don't need that there. What we do need is when we reset the round to just update the UI. Reset the board. Crust is a little crusty. Almost right. You know what you can't spell? You can't spell crust without a little rust. I just made that up on the spot because my computer highlighted rust for me. Good guess. Now just mix up all the letters where they're not right now and don't use a C. Maybe it's just rusts, like plural, or rusty. Yeah, rusty is good. I think rusty it is. Man, on a Rust stream, if it's rusty, that's going to be fantabulous. I tried to screenshot it. I tried to screenshot it. That's fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. You try cargo next. Cargo is the word for it. I mean, that actually makes sense. Like cargo pants, cargo in a plane. Never mind. That was stupid. I was like, oh, cargo is actually... Never mind. It is an actual word other people use. I never use cargo unless I'm talking about Rust. I'm also an idiot. So... Okay. Got an A. A, second position. What was I doing in here? Oh, I was making it so the timer... I'm going to actually restart this for us. I want to make it where the timer... Yeah, is at 30, but it's just held. Hey, girl. You come visit me. You come visit me. Good girl. I'm going to lay on my feet. Yeah. Did you need something? Good girl. It's a real word that you never use. Let's see if this works. Okay, so the timer should start going down. There's a lot of real words that I never use. Many of them are longer than 6 letters. I just not smart enough to leverage them. But it turns out that there's a lot of 5-letter words I'm not smart enough to know. Hey, Mary, do you know what plania is? Yeah, Plania. Oh yeah, I'm pronouncing Plania right. I think. No, it's the plural of something. Yeah, Plania is the plural. What was it the plural of? Plenum. Plenum. It's a meeting where everybody attended. You have reached plenum. And we learned something new today in our esoteric words. Yeah, it's fantastic. A plenum is an assembly or meeting with all members present. Yeah. And then plenia is multiple of those. It's plural plenums. That's fantastic. That was fantastic. Yeah. You just leave the door open. Nobody's being super loud. Oh, if you're leaving it open, leave it open. It's so hot in here. I'm too hot for this room. I don't know why she just left laughing. That was a little hurtful. A little hurtful. Slack. Oh, actually, Slack's a good one, right? No, there's no L. There's no L. Scalp. Scalp is a better one. Scalp is a better one. No, there's no L. Stop selecting L's, people. None of those are good. Skype is gone. I'm voting Skype. I don't know if it's valid. I'm adding it to the word list though. Very nice, Russell. You pulled it off in the last second. Like, you pulled it off in the last second. That was fantastic. Oh, Future Highway did get it too. I apologize. I did not mean to take that away from you. Now, I'm just going to warn you all. I hear lots of thunder. That has a tendency of making my internet less amazing. Wow, that was a really great first guess. That was amazing. And Russell, you guessed right as the new round was starting, so you get your 30 seconds. You get your 30 seconds. It's not rainy, though. I can tell you that much. I'm not a great speller, but... Oh, we know the last word. We know all the characters. We know all the characters in this word. We just gotta mix them around a little bit. Now, if one of you is correct, it should pick the winner. Nice. So it is working. So if there's a tie, it picks the person that's winning. I think we kind of tested that. You were off by one. Russell had it off by one error. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Okay, but the timer is doing much better, so that's it looks better. But it doesn't right now in between rounds. That's the one that I was worried might not be working. Let's look at reset the game for the next round. Yeah, this is where we need to do the MIDI little bitty. Right here. But instead of a timer, we're just what was the big long thing that I was using? Game round time limit. Game round time limit. Game around time limit. Done. Now it should go back to 30 seconds and wait there. I should do like a little play button and like a little pause button so people know. It needs work. The UI needs work, but we're going to move on after this. This is, I think, will be a little bit more fun for you all. And it allows you to play a little bit more at your leisure. So if you guys want to get up and take a break or whatnot, we'll add the AI bit playing in later. Cool. Cool. So then it goes to 30. So you know you have 30 seconds when it starts. I like this. I like shirt as a guess, Future Highway. That's a good guess. Obviously, Shift is a good one. Yeah. Shift is a good one. It went to pick you, Scott B, because there was 2 people going for shirt, right? So even if shift is correct, oh, it's not shift though. No, the S is here. It's H-I-S-T. Hist. So what goes with hist? Like CH? No, I don't think it's CH. I'm not even gonna pronounce these words off. Card game. Wrist. Oh, wrist. Very nice. Very nice. I hate Wordle, okay? Look, I made this for you all, not for me. So don't be like, you never played Wordle. Yeah, I hate Wordle, all right? Wordle is not the game for me. I think that at the end, yeah, I think we need a little more than 10 seconds. We should have like 30 seconds for you guys to like see the word and stuff. Like that makes sense. Okay. Cool. All right, back to what we were doing, which was Web API. I guess we're just gonna make, it looks like they have like these flat buffers for their API. Does Rust have a flat buffer? I don't know that I want to do this, right? Come here, buddy. Come here. Oh, good boy. Yeah. You just want to be famous? Yeah, I know you do. You just love people? I left my door open and you had to come in and say hi. I don't know that I want to do this. I think I'm not going to. I'll use the API. I don't think I want to use the flat buffers. And the reason is I want it to be like an applicable thing that people can do, but I don't want them to like have to do like a ton of work. And I realize that I can compile the flat buffers and do all that, so it pretty much just works, but I don't want to. The whole idea of the project wasn't to do magical stuff that just works behind the scenes. I want it to be stuff that they themselves can do and understand each step and reproduce. So I don't want to do the flat buffers, is I guess what I'm saying. Even though this is probably the convenient and correct way of doing it. You know, you can just do this with, instead of Swift, Rust. Although, we could make this a build step, right? Oh, could it post an answer into chat once it's over? It absolutely could. It absolutely could post a thing into chat. The answer. Instead of here, it could do both. Absolutely. I don't know that I have. So like I can post stuff to the game is not plumbed the other way. So like right now we don't have a sender to send a message to the thing that has the Twitch API integration, right? So while I can do it, I can't do it quickly and simply. So that will be another. We'll get that added in, but I can't do it today, right now. I'd like to work on this a little bit, and I'm basically out of time, anyways. But yeah, absolutely, we'll add that. I'm glad you got Docker running. I'm gonna have to do the flat buffers anyway, aren't I? Because this is gonna output garbage, basically. Okay, so we gotta do this. If I'm reading this right, this doesn't look like flat buffers. It's two big arrays, time and temperature. But this doesn't look This looks like just like JSON, right? Let me put this in a JSON parser and see if it's valid JSON. Let me see. I'm not telling it to respond in JSON. Oh, I'm sure curl is. Curl is. Okay. So I'm sure it's just how you request it. Okay. So if I can just get JSON, I'll just use the JSON and we'll parse JSON with SERDI. That will be good. That will be good. Okay, okay. We'll just do that. I like this. David Garange? Garange. It depends on where he's from, to be completely honest. I'm going to go with Garange. Just, it sounds French. I don't know why I'm going with that, but, you know. Oh, this is the wrong project now. I don't know what I typed. Oh, what did we do to this project? Let's see. We made it, I guess this was a feature. Made timer start after first guess. Ish. Ah. I always do this. Okay. A parking garage, yeah. A garage. Sounds less fun. Don't get me wrong. I have the least fun last name. Counts. No. I would know about less fun last names. No fun. Although, you'd be surprised at the number of people that call me Kuntz. Just, I know. It's a straight English word. Counts. Alright, so we have the weather app. And it's empty. So what the first thing that we're going to have them do, I think, for this weather app is probably import request and just make and print the base request. I think that's a good starting point. We'll do that for one day. Mr. Plena. Is that when the parking garage is full? Mr. Plena? Okay, so let's The sequel to James Bond. 700. Jimbo Plena. Okay, that's pretty good. It's like a making a mockery of like the James Bond, like clumsy, not sophisticated. I like it. All right. Well, what's a good version of request these days? All right. What's request auth 1? Oh, auth 1. Oh, nice. Not gonna do that right now. No, we're just gonna do the simple request. Okay. I guess I could have just done this, but you know I didn't. But they always fill the auditorium when they speak. Touche. That's like a requirement when you have that name. Sold out tickets. Absolutely sold out tickets. Let's see. Let's put the Jason. I don't think that we need... I don't think that we need... I'm just gonna copy and paste this. This is why I never do it this way. We'll go with... We won't do the .22. That way people will just be up on this. All right. Then we'll just do this basically. Excellent. Thank you, AI, for helping me not do something. I don't need that. I don't want a wait, right? This should be synchronous, right? This is always async. Do you have to be asynchronous? Do they not have a synchronous? I thought that they did. I wanted to keep it synchronous. Let's go to the repositories. I feel like... I just want the blocking. Blocking Git. There we go. There we go. Nope, not correct. Blocking is not what I wanted. Is there a feature flag for blocking or something? Let's go to crates.io. I'm betting there's a feature flag, right? Blocking. Okay. Cargo. I love how this is getting stuck up here sometimes. I don't know. I don't know why, what I've done. Yeah, future highway, I think you're right. I was looking for it. Okay, there we go. Got the blocking done. Going back to the example of blocking. Oh, does Jason not work with it? It might not work with the... Oh. Expected a semicolon. That's fair. No method named Jason for result. Okay. Yeah. This needs to cannot find type hash map in the scope. Let's include that. Thank you. Okay. Let's see. Let's cargo run bin weather. Oh, I'm in the bin weather, so just cargo run. Okay. So now we should be able to take this, copy this in. Good. I forgot. Okay. Invalid type floating point expected a string line 1 column 17. Ew. What if we don't do this? Oh, this is a chunked. Okay. Yeah, deserializing to a SERDI JSON value is an option. I think the problem here is that the data is chunked. We're gonna have to deal with that. Is there like a JSON value? This really needs to not be string, it needs to just be any JSON value. Let's see if request has anything. I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible. Hey buddy. You're coming in to get part of this too? No, you can't do that. Thank you. Can you say hi? Yeah, no, you don't want to. Go boy. Get on down. My wife has a condition called the bleeding heart syndrome. So anytime there's a thing that needs rescued, we end up rescuing it. So we have a lot of things like that running around that then feel entitled to being on my desk for some reason. All right. I just wanted to see, we can do some Jason dynamic. That's what I want. Just Jason. Okay. None of this. None of this. Good. This is going to be under a feature flag, isn't it? Let's see where that is. It does not like that. It does not like that. Damn, I am. This example shows a way to send and receive arbitrary JSON. This is useful for some ad hoc experiments and situations you don't really care about the structure of the JSON, just need to deploy it, process it, run it. Okay, I got it without that. Oh, wait. Post JSON, 30 JSON. Okay, this is part of the post. They're doing just JSON. Oh, okay, so they just did 30 JSON. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Can we just do that here? And then import 30 JSON, yeah? And then run that. Cool. Now I am thinking, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, because I could be wrong in thinking this, but my thought was that we just make a really simple thing that parses out the current temperature, right? And we don't care about all of this stuff, right? All we care about is parsing out this object, current, this number, right? That was my thought. This is also, again, not my latitude and longitude. And that's what we return. For a latitude, longitude, we give you the current temperature. That's what I'm currently thinking. I'm gonna think about this. Thank you so much for the follow, Arabelle. Sorry I don't have my Twitch alerts working. I haven't had anybody follow me for a very long time, and so I've been slack on. They're working. They just need a new token. Sorry about that. I can probably do it. Get them working. I just have to run one command. I have to go find that command and then run the command and then go update production. Give me 1 second and I'll go find the command, run the command, update production. Fairly easy. Running command. I gotta be in a different browser to run this command. Grabbing token. Let's see. Running running the update command to update production. Rolling the deployment. All right, production was updated. Give it 1 more minute. Let's give it 20 more seconds, and then Twitch alert should be working again. We need to update it so that it can do this handshake on its own, because it's stupid that I have to do the handshake for it. Which lang is this? I mostly only do Rust and Python. I do some Kubernetes. I do some Kubernetes architecture. Twitch alerts is not running in. Arabelle, if you want to unsub and then sub again, you can. Or not sub. I mean, you can sub too, but you could follow, and you should get a Twitch alert. I haven't tested it, so I don't know that it's actually out. Let me actually do that. I can. It does not appear to be up right now. Give it a sec. No, it is up. We are up. So now if you were to follow, you'd get a custom AI generated message just for you. This is not working on, this is not running on Kubernetes. It actually did for the longest time run on Kubernetes. Do I have a job? Yeah, I do have a job. Trust me. I don't stream to 6 people professionally. Not and support my family. Right. My real job is a maple syrup farmer, so you know, we all. And it's nice to have some corporate guys. Do I scream corporate? Ooh. I'm obviously exuding the wrong plania. Obviously, that's not the right use of that word. I know. I was just throwing that in there because I learned it today. Plena, not plania. Plena. Big maple. Yeah, big maple. Big maple. I got the big maple here. I did not realize I was exuding that. I didn't realize that. So cool. But happy to have you on. Happy to have you on. I haven't worked in. I wouldn't call any of my jobs big corporate. I guess SUSE would be like the biggest big corporate I had. I've never worked at Fang. I'm pretty sure Fang wouldn't hire me. Pretty sure. I'm like 99.8%. There's always a fluke. There's always a chance, but I think it would have to be a fluke. Mostly I've worked in small businesses. My most recent venture is in a startup, but small to medium. Yeah, I work in a pseudo startup now. SUSE was a medium, and then QSR was a micro company. I don't know. It's like 5 of us. We were profitable, but there was like 5 of us. I did have a stint in the aerospace industry. I did, you know, I don't like to brag about my aerospace time. But you know, we could talk about my aerospace. That's a complete joke for anybody new. I messed up. I said the wrong words, and people now think I'm in aerospace. I don't think anybody actually knows that. They like to tease me because I screwed up. Oh yeah? Startups are crazy there? I don't have a ton of experience with Indian startups. I've worked with a couple of the companies there, like Flipkart. I don't think Flipkart's a startup. They do a lot of data. I don't think it's labeled as a startup. Maybe it is. I'm not really sure. I went to a Coldplay concert. I don't know where this is going. I do know Coldplay is a band. I couldn't name a song. No, I didn't even know this company existed. My friend, I actually have a friend in real life, maybe two. He was talking about something about astronomer and was saying that it was like a company. I've never heard of them before. Oh, I do know what Astro is. I did know what Astro was. I didn't know the company was called Astronomer. Okay, I didn't know that. Something about going to like a concert and caught cheating. Astronomer company tied to viral Coldplay concert. Oh, in Cincinnati. I could have been there to witness it live. I'm not too far away from Cincinnati. I didn't realize it. So anyways, yeah, I'm a nobody. I'm a nobody from the Midwest, which is actually in the East. But I can't say that I'm from the Middle East because that's weird and not where I'm from. Yeah. It's okay, Future Highway. I'm just really bad at jokes as well. I'm just not great at picking them up. I think it's specifically when streaming, like, I wouldn't say that I'm a very good streamer where like you have the split focus and you can keep track of like what's happening with Twitch chat, as well as like where your brain is going. You almost need to ensure that there's constantly like 3 parallel threads of execution. And I got, look, when I was born, it was the Pentium era. It was the Pentium 2. There's only 2, you know. Actually, I think the Pentium 2 is a single core. But anyways, I only got a dual core. So I can only have 2. So like one of those cores And the worst part with my core is that it has shared memory state, and it just gets stomped on sometimes. The memory protection is not very good. It wasn't, my central OS wasn't written in Rust. It's just kind of like some assembly that gets thrown away around. So like the barriers between threads aren't really there. They're more like guidelines between threads. And since I have to share a physical core, it's just not great. It's not great. All right. This is probably pretty good. I'm probably pretty done for the day. It's almost 1400. Yeah. I got stuff to do today. I'm gonna stream again either tomorrow night or the night after. I have that talk I want to give on AI has a pricing problem. I just have to get a little bit more work done on it. A few more charts made, so I'll work on that tonight and probably do it tomorrow night, maybe Monday night if I need more time on it. And we'll talk about AI has a pricing problem. So please join me if you can. Otherwise, streaming in the mornings. I'm trying on Wednesdays and Fridays. I am doing it on Fridays, sometimes Wednesdays. And of course on Saturdays. Thanks everybody for joining. Do you still have your... I wish I still had a Core 2 Duo inside sticker. I wish I did. Just to help you out, if you like to use AI, try Cursor or Kuro. I am a little bit of an AI person. I would not consider myself an expert. Look, I don't consider myself an expert in just about anything. It's hard-pressed for me to tell you that I'm an expert. If there was two things that I'm decent at, I don't know what they would be. I couldn't tell you what those would be. I was going to say AI and Kubernetes, but I don't think that those are true. I think that most people know more about Kubernetes and AI and managing people. I am a jack of no trades and master of absolutely none as well. So I'm... You know what, though? Wordle in English? Yeah, Wordle in English. If you're wanting somebody that's really good at Rust, if you're wanting somebody that's chill, has a zen atmosphere, and just knows Rust better than just about anybody, go check out Tom. Tom is a fantastic Rust developer, much better than myself. So if you're wanting to learn from an expert, go check out Tom. Thanks everybody. Thanks everybody for joining. I super appreciate you all coming out and hanging out and putting up with me. Have yourselves a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you guys later this weekend for my one video and then next week. Bye.